Hello, everyone. First live stream of 2025. Can you believe it? Oh my gosh, so good to be back. I hope you all had a very chill, relaxing, all the things holidays, but I also know that a lot of you are parents or caretakers out there. And so the fact that I would even allude to the off chance that it was relaxing is hilarious all in itself. But glad everyone is back. I was just talking to the team in 2025, y'all. Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. And that's why we wanted to talk today about goal setting, but give you a different twist. I think we all can talk about goal setting and what the top things to do are and how to create SMART goals, which if you don't know how to do that, we can send you a link later. But really what I wanted to do was, hey, let's look at all of the mistakes that we have made personally, that our OBMs we've heard make personally, or that their clients have made, and share all of those with you so that you are learning from us and not having to learn on your own. So that's what we're going to be covering today. But before we get started, let's do a quick opening question. The opening question is, what is a goal last year that you had that you didn't get to? What is a goal last year that you didn't get to? I have a lot. Personal life, I was going to go to yoga once a week. Did that happen? Sure didn't. From a business standpoint, we wanted to create a full demand generation engine on the client side of the business, and we didn't quite get to that. So it got pushed to this year. So I'm curious, what are some goals that you just didn't get to? And I want you to share this because it's okay. It's okay. Natalie, I was going to read 50 books. Girl, when do you have time to read 50 books? I came in at 36. Wow. Dang. What else? What are some goals you just didn't get to? Meal planning. I heard that one a lot. Someone was going to start meal planning. Yes. Losing pounds. Yes. Still working on it for 2025. Atta girl. Finding a new career. Michelle, amazing. Angela, I wanted you to do more public speaking, but didn't book a talk yet. Daily morning meditation. Oh my gosh. I know it's Leah who put this in here. And I can't for the life of me sit there and meditate. It's not where I'm at in my life right now. Promo and raise, got laid off instead. What I know about you, ma'am, is you are on the right track. That is absolutely a roadblock that happened for you, not to you. That's what I'm going to say about that, Corey. So anyway, thank you all for being so vulnerable, because it's hard. And I hope that even hearing other people talk about the goals that they didn't hit gives you some sort of relief, gives you some sort of like, okay, I'm not alone. And guess what? We got a whole nother year and time's still ticking and you're still here and it's all good. It's all good. Okay, so I'm Ashley Connell, CEO and founder of Prowess Project. What do we do at Prowess? We help mainly women pivot in their careers to be online business managers. They were always the utility player. They were always the Jill of all trades and weren't really sure that they could take all of their ops know-how and systems thinking and logic and tech savviness and turn it into a career that is so in need. So we help women do that, and then we match them up with their ideal clients, typically CEOs who are super visionary and need that operator, need that OBM to help make their business actually run. So we'd like to bring you as much information about OBMs to help your career or your clients each week. So with that, let's talk about some common goal setting mistakes or pitfalls that we have either done ourselves or hear from OBMs and their clients all the time. So I am going to come out of the gates with a big one. Number one, Pitfall I see, only aligning your goals with the outcome. Only aligning your goals with the outcome. What does that mean? That could mean I want to do $10,000 in revenue a month. That could mean I want to, it's the result. It's the result, not the actions that you need to take in order to get to that result. In We learned this a hard way at Prowess Project. I feel like we always were saying, okay, we're going to double in revenue this year. We're going to do 10% in profit. And what would happen is we had all of these things that we wanted to happen down the road, but then there was no plan, like actions that were being tracked in order to get there. So then it's the end of the month and we did not hit our revenue goal. And we're like, well, why not? We had this goal, we were working towards it, but we didn't track the actions that it was going to take in order to get there. So what could this look like? Let's say you want 4 clients. A lot of OBMs, I say this all the time, you do not need 400 clients. You don't need 40 clients. You don't need 10 clients. You need maybe 4, maybe, right? So that should give you some relief. But really ask yourself, what is the inputs that you need to do that you can control, that you can track, that is going to help you get those 4 clients? So let's work backwards in that process of getting clients. Okay, how many contracts do you need to send? Right? Then from there, how many contracts? Then before that, how many consult calls do you have to send to really design what exactly they're looking for? Then from there, how many discovery calls? These are just first meetings do you need to have in order to get to X amount of consult calls? Okay, in order to book those meetings, how many DMs or emails or voice memos or Loom videos do you need to send in order to get to all of those discovery calls? Those are the metrics to keep in mind, right? Is really what are the actions I need to take? So oftentimes it's the outreach, it's the DMs, it's the Loom videos, et cetera, that you need to focus on, okay? Because that gives you the data. So you have a benchmark on what it's going to take in order to reach your goal. So you may say at the beginning, I think it's going to be 10 DMs to 1 discovery call, and then go down the line and see if that is right. So give me a thumbs up out there. Does this make sense to everyone, that it's really about the action, not the outcome? Or the inputs, not the output even? Okay, I'm seeing some thumbs up. Love it, love it, love it. If y'all have questions, please put them in the comments, because whereas this can sound simple, I know it's a lot easier in, it's not as easy in practice. And so this is your time to really get these questions answered if you do have any, specifically around all of this goal setting, but also really anything, even if it was about the conversion of getting to the clients anyway. So, okay, pitfall number 2, and this I kind of alluded to it in the previous one. Pitfall, thinking that your goal is set in stone. I know this sounds counterintuitive, right? Like you want to set this goal and you're working to achieve it, and you don't want to change it because that may feel like, oh, I'm letting myself off easy, or I can't get to it. But one thing that I absolutely love about the agile method of project management framework, and I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of that, but this is where this comes from. Someone told me this and it stuck. When you are at the beginning of a project, of a goal, of something that you are starting, something that you want to achieve, that is when you are the dumbest. Think about it. It's true. Saying like, hey, I'm going to do 100 outreaches a week, right? I'm going to start that, and then I'm going to work towards that. And You may realize that 100 is not nearly enough. You may realize that 100 is way too much, but you can take that data, that insight, those numbers, and tweak your goals along the way so that you end up achieving that output that you really need. So I share this because we're doing this internally. So for our sales team, um, we don't know. We didn't know how many outreaches that the sales team needed to make per week. So we just decided on the number and we started tracking it. And what we realized is it actually needs to be double, if not triple of that. So then we need to make the decision of, okay, so how do we get there? And what are going to be our trade-offs and our resources in order to get there? And so again, I just say that because I don't want you to put so much pressure on yourself to have this perfect goal when really when you're setting it, aka right now, you are your dumbest. All right. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, Leah and I are the queens of this next goal pitfall. Having too many goals. Oh my gosh. We were going over just some of our KPIs from last year this morning, and we looked at it and we're like, oh my God, we even wrote this? Like there are 20 goals on here. How are we going to get to all of them? Do these even make sense? Like, do we even need to be tracking these things? And so I say that because really I want you to focus on the most important metrics in order to get to your business. And so I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that most of you, if you have started your OBM business or thinking about starting it, the most important thing right now is getting as close to revenue as possible. So when you are looking at all of your goals, and let's say that you're an Ashley and Aaliyah who has a bazillion of them, I would look at all of them and prioritize. Which ones are going to get me closest to revenue, closest to cash in the bank so that I can continue to run this business? I love everyone saying that they're guilty about the too many goals. Yes, Corey, prioritize and then reprioritize. You're going to learn along the way. You're going to figure out, hey, these are the important goals for me and for my business. As far as what I have seen work, I think each person should have 3 goals that they're focused on, because anymore, and it's too much. In an ideal world, and this is not the world we live in, you would have 1, right? Like you would have 1 and you would be focused on it, and that would be the only thing that you're doing, right? Not necessarily something that you could do. But again, starting out, so important. Let's get close to revenue. Questions on that? The ignorance gap, Lauren, that's it. That's what I was referring to when you're just starting a project and you're having to come up with the results. Yes, that's what it was. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you. All right, number 4. Also guilty of this one. You create these goals. You create these and you feel great about them, and you're not super attached to them, and they're all action oriented or input oriented. But then you don't take the time to track and reflect on them. That is the major pitfall. They're not front and center. You don't take time out of your day, your week, your month, your quarter, whatever, to review them. You aren't tracking the data that you need in order to have a number to look at, reflect on, and iterate on. And so I found this was super interesting. 45% of people don't track their goals. So they'll have this awesome goals, but then they will look at no progress whatsoever. And I've spoken to so many people, so many CEOs who very much feel this way. They have these big, big, big goals, but they aren't looking at or utilizing or tracking any of the data from their day-to-day in order to make those decisions. So this is a huge one that you can utilize and really be that resource for your clients as that steady drumbeat of collecting all of that data, presenting it, and reflecting it on it, and what you should go do next and what those insights are. And I share this because, of course, that's great for clients, but you need to be doing that too. So just like I was saying, hey, maybe it is, 10 DMs to one discovery call, look at it, track that and look at it after 4 weeks. You sent 40 DMs. Did I get 40 discovery calls? Likely not, especially if these are cold. So likely not. So what does that mean, right? What does that mean of looking like, how do you get more? What else should you be doing? And that can then even alter what your goal is. And so maybe it's not DMs, maybe it's phone calls, maybe it's Loom calls, maybe it's networking, maybe it's asking for interest, all of these different things. Okay. All right. Number 5. Oh, well, one more thing on the tracking and reflecting on metrics. I know that a lot of you are solopreneurs. And one thing that I wish I would have done when I had like my own like private consulting is I wish I would have had like exec days or team meetings just with myself and review all of this data, because it is so important, and that those are really easy things to just shove off to the next month, the next week. But without understanding what that data is, you can't make wise decisions on how you're spending your time. And at the beginning of your business, and really throughout your entire business, time is your most valuable resource. So I really, really, really highly recommend you schedule your own exec meeting, even if it's solo. All right. So last pitfall that I see all the time, and I don't want it to happen to you. And I know that you probably all know this, but this is the game changer. Having no accountability. Having no accountability. That is a massive, massive pitfall. Y'all, when I was researching this, I've always known it, but researching it, it kind of like blew my hair back. People have a 95% chance of reaching their goals when they have an accountability partner. 95%. 95%. That is wild to me. And it's interesting because as I reflect on the different networking groups, the different like masterminds, the different cohort groups that I'm in, I choose the ones where I know that I will be held accountable, because I know if I'm held accountable, I will absolutely do those things. Because I don't want to let myself down, and I don't want to let my coach down or the leader of the cohort, and I don't want to let all my other cohort members down either. And so again, having that person who will be your accountability buddy is absolutely massive. And this doesn't have to be joining a course. This could just be someone who you send a report to each week. This could be I hear like business, like business buddy all the time. There might be like someone else that you know that's starting their own business, and then maybe y'all have your weekly meetings together, and you go through your metrics and she goes through hers, and just share and brainstorm. This absolutely could look like a course or a cohort program. I'm in another networking group now, and they asked for recommendations and feedback for next year. And I was like, add an accountability piece. Add an accountability piece, because I'm going to get more results from this program, and therefore you will have better testimonials, and therefore get more people in your networking group. And so it really is the same. If you're really trying to get results so that you get the testimonial, so that you can grow your business, having an accountability buddy, partner, cohort, coach, whatever, is really, really going to help. I know I've mentioned this before, but I take it really, really far from the accountability standpoint, because I know that that works for me. I'm a part of a group that if we don't do what we said that we're going to do, we have to pay dollars into a pot that goes into a meal at the end of the quarter year for the entire team. So like there is a real consequence, dollars and cents. And like that really works for me. Other people that's not going to work for. But I love that. I love that because it made me serious about taking my business serious and meeting my goals. So, again, accountability, 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 accountability. All right. Um, oh wow. If so, just saw something that if you are 660% more likely to meet your goal than someone who doesn't simply write down their goal. That wasn't even on my list, but just even writing it down. Wow. That is crazy. Yeah, 660%. Wild. Wild, wild, wild. So, I hope this was really, really helpful for all of you, and it were some things that you can go through. And really, the headline of this is keep it simple. Keep it simple. This does not need to be anything crazy. I know all of you are OBMs. I know all of you want to tinker and get the goal absolutely right. And I know that you want to build out all these spreadsheets and all these forecasting and all of these things. Don't. Just start with the simple, simple goal. Only have 3 of them. Get an accountability buddy, and then continue to track and work on the actual inputs that you need in order to reach your goal. So, with that, everyone, that wraps up our first into 2025. Next week, we have a very exciting guest on who. What I love about what she does in her work is she helps consultancies or agency owners start their business and exit it. So it's at the 2 like different life cycles of that business, but because they're thinking about it at the beginning, it makes the exiting easier. And so I thought that was really, really interesting and very, very, very excited to have her on. As far as next steps, if you are wanting a little bit more help with goal setting or with, hey, is being an OBM right for you? Or how would I actually make this happen for me? Hop on a call with us at Prowess Project. It's absolutely free, 15 minutes just to, again, understand if, hey, if I'm going to spend all of this time and make all of these goals, is this career path right for me? So thank you, Leah, for putting that link in there. And yeah, y'all, see you next week.